Okay, so listeners, today we're going to dig into something pretty interesting. Um, it's a field that's, well, it's going through some pretty big changes right now with all this new tech. We're talking about skilled trades and what the future holds for folks working with, well, their hands.
It's a hot topic.
It is. And today we're zeroing in on scraper operators. You know those folks handling those massive machines, shaping the ground for construction and all that.
Right. The ones moving mountains, literally.
Exactly. Now, our main guide today is RoleCatcher.com. They've got this awesome career guide, scraper operator, that's full of insights. But before we even get into that, I gotta admit, when I hear scraper operator, I'm picturing like a bulldozer on steroids.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of people think that.
But so, like, what is a scraper really? What sets it apart?
Well, think of it more like a giant high-tech dustpan with some serious muscle behind it. They're not just pushing dirt around. Scrapers precisely scrape and load layers of earth, getting it ready to be hauled away. It's a lot more delicate than it looks, honestly.
So it's not just about brute strength then, huh? And I notice RoleCatcher uses this phrase, a unique blend of hands-on work and technical know-how. That really caught my eye. What does that actually look like day to day?
Yeah, they hit the nail on the head with that one.
Right.
They've got this pros and cons section that breaks it down nicely. On the plus side, the earning potential is pretty great.
Okay. Always a good start.
Definitely. You're working outdoors.
Fresh air.
Exactly. And, this is key, the demand for skilled operators.
Mm.
Through the roof.
So job security isn't an issue. That's good to know. But
There's always a but, right?
Right.
And I'm just going to quote RoleCatcher directly here because, well, it's important to be upfront. Physically demanding, exposure to hazardous materials, long hours, work can be repetitive, potential for injuries.
wow. Okay. That paints a different picture. So it's not all sunshine and operating cool machines.
Nope. Definitely a reality check. Those sunny days come with some trade-offs for sure.
That's for sure. Makes you think twice about what goes into building the world around us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about the physical demands, but you mentioned tech earlier, and I'm really curious how that factors into all of this.
Right, and that's where things get even more interesting
Yeah.
because technology is transforming this field in a big, big way.
Hold on, really, I always thought scraper operators were all about, brawn and knowing those massive machines inside and out.
You're not wrong, but there's a whole other layer being added on now, a tech layer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the more tech we have, even in these hands-on fields, the more complex they get.
So walk me through this. What kind of tech are we talking about here?
Well, RoleCatcher actually mentions GPS systems and other technologies used in scraper operation in their interview prep section.
Okay, so it's not just knowing the machine, you need tech skills too.
Yep, and it starts even before you get the job. Remember how we talked about AI changing things? Well, RoleCatcher uses it in their platform, like to analyze job specs and match candidates.
Whoa, hold on. So even getting hired as a scraper operator involves AI now.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild. So even if you're not like coding the AI, it's still part of your world.
Exactly. It's like this, I don't know, undercurrent changing the whole industry.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, but what about the actual work? How's tech changing things on the ground, literally?
So think about those GPS systems I mentioned.
Yeah, like in the scraper itself.
Yep, GPS-guided scrapers are becoming more and more common.
Wait, so like a self-driving car, but for moving tons of earth?
Pretty much. They use GPS coordinates to guide the blade with incredible accuracy. Huge game changer, especially on big projects where, every inch matters.
So instead of eyeballing it, these operators are basically piloting a supersized earth-moving robot.
Exactly, and that takes a whole other set of skills.
Yeah, no kidding. So what kind of training even prepares you for that?
RoleCatcher talks about how knowing digital interfaces is crucial now.
Makes sense, I guess.
It's not just about muscle memory anymore. You got to input data, monitor systems, troubleshoot on the fly, that kind of stuff.
So it's this blend of traditional skills and being tech savvy. That's pretty cool. But what does that mean for someone thinking about this as a career? Like, what's their path look like?
RoleCatcher breaks it down into 3 stages. Entry level, junior scraper operator, and then senior scraper operator.
Okay, so you move up the ranks, but it's more than just years on the job.
Right. It's about taking on more, I don't know, responsibility, handling more complex tasks.
And I'm guessing those tech skills factor into that a lot.
Big time. RoleCatcher stresses that those who, embrace technology are the ones who get ahead.
It's like the more tech comfortable you are, the faster you climb the ladder.
Exactly. They even mentioned organizations like the International Union of Operating Engineers, IUOE, and the International Association of Machinists, IAM.
Those are those big industry groups, right?
Yep. And RoleCatcher links out to them, emphasizing how important continuing education is.
Yeah, especially in a field changing this fast, you got to keep learning. But okay, let's go back to those GPS-guided scrapers for a sec. We talked about how they work, but what are the real benefits? Is it just speed, or is there more to it?
Oh, there's way more to it than just speed. Accuracy is a huge one. GPS-guided scrapers, they're amazing for something called grading.
Grading, like giving the ground a letter grade.
Not quite. It's basically the process of leveling the ground, getting it perfectly flat or sloped, depending on what's being built.
Ah, okay, so it's about precision.
Exactly. And that's crucial for, well, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Building foundations, roads, drainage systems, all that stuff.
So less room for error, and you end up with a much more like polished final product.
Exactly. It's a game changer.
Sounds like it. But every rose has its thorns, right? What about the challenges of using this high-tech equipment?
Oh, there are definitely challenges. RoleCatcher mentions things like, technical glitches, software needing updates, that kind of stuff.
Right. So even when it's supposed to make things easier, tech can still throw you a curveball.
For sure. And then there's the big one, the elephant in the room.
Which is?
Jobs. Automation and what it means for the future of work.
Yeah, that's the big question looming over everything these days. So are robots going to put scraper operators out of a job?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be honest, there's no easy answer.
Ah.
It's a tough one, right? I mean, some experts say automation is going to lead to fewer operators down the line.
Which makes sense if robots can do the job.
Exactly. But then others are saying, no, it's more like tech's going to change what the job looks like, not eliminate it entirely.
So instead of being replaced, operators will need like even more skills to keep up.
Exactly. Like they'll need to be even more specialized.
So it's not a matter of if things are going to change.
More like how they're going to change.
Makes you think.
It does. It really does. And, well, RoleCatcher doesn't have a crystal ball, but they stress that anyone going into this field, they got to be ready to adapt, keep learning new things.
Which, honestly, that's good advice for any career these days, right?
Oh, absolutely. The world's changing fast.
That it is. But okay, let's say someone's hearing all this and they're like, sign me up. What would training for the super operator of the future even look like?
Ooh, now that's a fun question. I'm thinking, forget those boring old textbooks. We're going full-on futuristic.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Paint me a picture. What's this training look like?
All right, so you'd still need those core skills, right? Getting hands-on with the machines, understanding the different types of soil, all the safety protocols, that's
The
crucial.
foundation, basically.
Exactly. But then we layer on the tech. I'm talking simulations, virtual reality, the works. Imagine learning to operate a scraper, not on a real construction site, but in a virtual one.
Wow, like a video game, but for moving mountains of dirt.
Exactly. You can make mistakes, try again, all without any real-world consequences, at least at first.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Right. And then, of course, a deep dive into GPS technology. And I don't just mean learning how to use Google Maps to get to the work site.
Oh, yeah, gotta level up that GPS knowledge.
Exactly. It's about understanding how those GPS-guided systems work, how to troubleshoot them, how to really leverage that precision for, like, peak performance.
So it's not just about, inputting coordinates, it's about understanding the how and the why behind it all.
Exactly. And hey, since we're talking about the future here, let's throw in some robotics and automation courses, too.
Oh, interesting. Even if robots aren't replacing operators completely like we talked about, knowing how they work, it's got to be helpful, right?
Absolutely. It's like giving these future operators a secret weapon.
A deep understanding of both the brawn and the brains of these machines.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Man, this has been eye-opening. I had no idea the world of scraper operators was this, I don't know, high-tech.
Right. A hidden gem of a career path, for sure. Combines those hands-on skills with cutting-edge technology.
For anyone listening who's, maybe a little bit techie, but also likes the idea of working with their hands building things,
This could be it, the perfect fit.
I'm convinced. And for anyone who wants to dig a little deeper into this, literally and figuratively, RoleCatcher.com is the place to go.
Seriously, their website is a goldmine of information.
Couldn't agree more. Well, that about wraps it up for today's deep dive, everyone.
Until next time.
Stay curious out there.